Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wanted to try out different lighting scenarios but didn't have the gear or crew or location on hand? Well, today we're going to look at a fantastic piece of 3D Pre-Vis software that I use on almost every single job. It's called Set a Light. It lets me fine-tune lighting, try out different lighting scenarios, experiment with lights I haven't used before, and share realistic previews with my clients and crew. Plus, if you check out the link in my description, you can get an exclusive discount on the software using my affiliate link. All right, so let's open up Set a Light and take a look at it. Okay, so we're going to start with a new project here, just to show you kind of how quickly you can get something set up. So we'll quickly change our camera back over. We're going to do 16 by 9. We'll change our settings here. We'll go ISO 800, 24 frames. Maybe we'll start with like a 2.8. And we can go here up to edit and then clear set. That's going to remove everything. So you start with the blank slate here. Sure, our camera is horizontal. And we'll widen out so we can see something here. So we'll start with a blank slate here. Move our camera around. Make this a little bit wider. We'll go like, I don't know, 40 feet. Something in here. So first thing I'm going to do is, just so we can see something here, I'll bring in a key light here. 600D. So now what we're going to do, we can go to props. We'll add a wall here. We can change the texture of the wall here pretty easily. So we've got all these different textures here. And then of course you can change the color. So maybe it's sort of a warmer wall. You can change the width. Change your height, so it kind of starts with your standard height, ceiling height here. So to duplicate that, I'll hold down Option and click it, and then you can change the yaw. That's going to give you your rotation here. And I'll change that to 90. We'll make just a quick corner. Let's say we want a window in here. You've got a couple different options. So we just go up and hit Window. That's going to add a new window. You can click that. Change it to whatever style you want. Maybe move it around over here. I'm going to move everything, so I'm going to hit Control A and move everything over. So I've got a little bit of room behind it. So we'll start with this, basic 2-wall set here. Double click to get out of that, and we'll rotate this slide around. So maybe it's coming in through the window here. Option click and move around here. You can click on the light itself and move its position. You can raise it up and down, get the angle right. And we'll just quickly go over here and we'll add, let's add a nice chair in the corner. Big comfy chair. We'll bring in a model here. Bring this dude in here. We can change his pose. They've got a bunch of different preset poses here, so maybe we'll have him kind of deep in thought, sitting in the chair. Move him around, get that just right. If you want to change the viewport here to see this area bigger, you can hit T, and that's going to swap these positions. You can also hit this button here. I'll do the same function. So we'll just go in this top view and make sure our guy's seated squarely in the chair. And yeah, this is just sort of something I'm coming up with on the fly here. Just a quick example of what you can do. So let's go back to the overall room and let's make our ceiling black. So it's taking a lot of that bounce out of the room here. And we'll maybe change our texture of the floor. So we've got some nice wood floors here, and that's going to reduce our bounce as well. So let's say we want to see outside the window and we want to, see what that's going to look like. You can add this picture wall element, and that's going to give you a little bit of a background, and you can change that to be whatever you want it to be. So you can add in different images here. So maybe we want this nice open road. You can change if the picture itself is emitting light, so you can sort of replicate, daylight outside and adjust your exposure accordingly. It's not going to give you the most accurate exposure adjustments here, but definitely gives you something to, so you get a sense of what it's going to look like and how to adjust accordingly for that. So yeah, we like our old guy here, sitting deep in thought. Maybe we want to bring in a little fill. So maybe we'll do that with a S30, something small. And maybe we'll bring that around. By default, everything is going to be loading in, pointing towards your subject. So obviously that's looking bright, so we can take this down. Say we just want to see what our fill light is doing and not what our key through the window here is doing. We can hit S to solo the light, or you can also hit this little S here, and that'll show you only what this light is doing. And you can see in the window, you're actually getting some accurate reflection of where this light is. So if we move this around, you would see that in the window. So you could say, oh, I know I need to move this light over here so I'm avoiding reflections. Or maybe you like this position really well. You like this position a lot and you want that to, to live there. You can always just add a little flag and flag that off. Pan over so we're not catching that flag. And we'll unsolo the light. So we can kind of rotate this around so we're not getting our reflection. And say we want to add maybe a little hair light behind him. So we can maybe bring in a little Titan tube and have that facing him here. Maybe we want it to be nice and warm. We'll raise this up. And we'll solo that as well just to see what we're dealing with. I'm not liking how much spill that Titan tube's giving us, so maybe we swap that out. We like the position of it, so maybe we'll go with a 120D here. So that's this light here. And maybe we want to bring that in even more with a nice Fresnel, or we want to have some more control over it, and we go with a little light dome here, and we add in our grid and everything. So that gives us a nice little look there. You can also toggle on and off the stand for the light. If you're going to be hanging lights, it's a studio build or something, or you've got some pipe, you can hang the light here and you can toggle off and on that stand. And again, here you can change all your other elements. So we'll unsolo that and see how it's mixing in with everything. I think that's looking kind of nice. Now say, okay, this is looking too wide, so maybe we zoom in. You've got the option to do that. Till you can boom down here, get right on the eye level. Maybe we come around a little bit more. So yeah, a lot of different options. So now maybe our light here is looking a little too hot, so we can turn that down. Solo that as well. Check the angle here. Getting some nice Rembrandt style lighting here on them. You can see how the light is coming across, hitting that eye there. But maybe these shadows are a little bit too hard for you, right? So maybe we want to soften it up. There's a couple different ways we can do that, right? We can add in a light dome on this light, and that'll soften things up. So you can see that's with the light dome on it. And then here's just the bare. COB on it. So it does a nice job of previewing that. So maybe that's still not soft enough and you want that light coming in really soft here. We can go over to Helper, add a big diffusion frame in front of that. Make sure that's lined up here. We can go to the top view and really line it up with the light. And of course you are going to get some light loss here, but you can see that's going to really soften things up. So it will adjust for the light loss. And now we have this beautiful doubly diffused light source here. So let's take a look at that. Doubly diffused, and we'll look at this without the 8x frame and just the light dome here. We'll adjust our intensity of it since we no longer have that diffusion there that's cutting the light. And now we'll look at that without any sort of diffusion on it. And we'll adjust our exposure to compensate for that. So let's take a quick look at all these just to show you an example of the difference in quality of light you can get from the software. So we'll go and render all snapshots here, and we'll see you once they're done rendering. Now that we've rendered out our images, let's take a look at the quality of light here. Here you can see our shot here. This is just the key light with no diffusion on it. You can see the shadows are really harsh, really strong shadows here. Everything kind of falls into darkness around him. Now we can take a look at this same shot with the light dome on it. So here you can see it opens up the shadows a little bit more. We're getting a little bit more wrap into this near side eye. And finally, let's take a look at the same shot with our 8x8 diffusion. So you can see a big difference here in the quality of light. It's gotten a lot softer, it's wrapping around, filling in a lot more of those shadows. You're still getting this nice defined shape. You get that Rembrandt style lighting, but it's, filling in a lot more shadow, coming around, filling in a lot more of the whole scene here. So this software is really great for pre-visualizing and experimenting with different quality of light setups before you get to set. So say you are going for this softer look, oh, I can't necessarily achieve that with the light dome alone. I'm going to need to rent a diffusion rag to get the quality of light I'm going for. So Satellite is just a really great tool I found for experimenting with this kind of lighting setup and taking a look at the quality of light that you are going for in a scene really quickly without having to get out a bunch of gear, rent lights, find a space, spend 20 minutes setting up the camera, setting up the lights, building the 8x frame. So it's a fantastic tool for pre-visualizing your lighting in advance without needing to have any crew or any location or any gear. So you can do this in the comfort of your own home, even from your couch, wherever you want, as long as you've got your laptop with you. You can experiment with your lighting. Okay, so the last thing I like to do after I've gotten a frame that I'm happy with is I will bring it into Resolve and throw Dehancer on it to give it a little bit more of a filmic quality. So I'll go over to my favorites here, drag Dehancer on there. Okay, so now that we've put Dehancer on, we'll go down to our print here and we'll go throw a 2383 on there. That gives us a really nice filmic look. We can go up and adjust the exposure here a little bit. And it's a little too hot. Warm it up a little. Come down here. So I've already done a whole video on Dehancer here. You can go ahead and check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. And maybe we'll do one note prior just to kind of really open up some of this contrast. Bring the shadows up a touch. Take the highlights down a little bit. Oh, too far. Sometimes when I'm using my mouse, it messes up. Reset that. So there's before, after. Opens things up just a little bit. And you can see here's the before frame, and now with Dehancer. All right, guys, thank you again so much for watching. That does it for this look at Satellite and my workflow with it. If you're interested in trying it out for yourself, head over to the link in my description to save yourself some money on either the Studio or Basic package. And if you want to try out Dehancer as well, you can use the code GRANT10 at checkout with that, so you can save yourself some money with that software as well. And it really does add a little bit of extra polish to the frames that you're going to send over to crew and client. So be sure you check out both those links in the description, and we will see you guys in the next one. Be sure you subscribe to stay up to date with more, and like the video if you have any questions. Leave a comment. All right, we'll see you in the next one.